Good leaders, great relationships, and thriving communities are all built on one foundation: trust. It is the glue that holds everything together. But here's the thing about trust. It's not something you can demand or command. It's something you earn. Trust is one of the most valuable assets in any relationship, whether personal or professional, but it's not something that comes freely. It's not handed over casually, nor is it built overnight. Trust is earned. It's a process that demands intentional effort, consistency, and a commitment to integrity. It's a delicate bond that requires nurturing and careful cultivation, because while trust takes time to establish, it can be shattered in an instant. Earning trust begins with demonstrating reliability. People need to see that your actions align with your words. It's easy to make promises. It's far harder to deliver on them consistently. Every time you fulfill a promise, no matter how small, you deposit a little more into the trust bank. These deposits accumulate over time, creating a solid foundation for relationships. Conversely, when you fail to follow through, even once, it creates doubt, and doubt is the seed of mistrust. One of the key ways to earn trust is through honesty. This means telling the truth even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Honesty requires courage, especially in situations where the truth might not be well received. But the alternative, deception or half-truths, undermines the very foundation of trust. When people sense dishonesty, they question everything. They start to wonder what else you might be hiding, or whether your motives are sincere. On the other hand, when you're honest even about mistakes or failures, you earn respect and ultimately trust. Another important factor in earning trust is consistency. Trust isn't built in grand gestures or singular acts. It's constructed through steady, predictable behavior over time. Imagine meeting someone who is kind and dependable one day, but distant and unreliable the next. It's impossible to build trust with someone whose actions are inconsistent. People need to know what to expect from you. They need to feel confident that you will show up, keep your word, and act with integrity, not just once, but every time. Listening is another powerful way to earn trust. Too often, people listen to respond rather than to understand. They hear words but miss the meaning behind them. When you truly listen to someone, when you take the time to understand their perspective and show that you value their thoughts and feelings, you create a deeper connection. This connection is the foundation of trust. Listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about making people feel seen, heard, and valued. When someone feels that you genuinely care about what they have to say, they are more likely to trust you. Earning trust also requires vulnerability. This may seem counterintuitive, but when you allow yourself to be open and honest about your struggles, fears, or mistakes, you create an environment of authenticity. People are drawn to those who are real and relatable. They don't trust perfection, they trust humanity. Being vulnerable shows that you have nothing to hide and that you're willing to let others see the real you. This willingness to be transparent fosters trust because it eliminates pretense and creates genuine connection. Integrity is another cornerstone of earning trust. Integrity means doing what is right, even when no one is watching. It's about making ethical choices and standing by your principles, even when it's difficult or unpopular. People trust those who have a clear moral compass and who consistently act in alignment with their values. When you demonstrate integrity, you send a powerful message: you can count on me to do what is right, not just what is easy. Accountability also plays a crucial role in earning trust. No one is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes. But what matters is how you handle those mistakes. When you take responsibility for your actions, acknowledge your errors, and make an effort to correct them, you show that you are accountable. This builds trust because it demonstrates that you are willing to own up to your shortcomings rather than deflecting blame or making excuses. Accountability also shows that you respect others enough to admit when you've let them down and that you are committed to doing better in the future. Trust is also built through empathy. When you take the time to understand and connect with others on a deeper level, you create a sense of safety and belonging. Empathy is about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, seeing the world from their perspective, and acknowledging their experiences and emotions. When people feel that you genuinely care about them, they are more likely to trust you. Earning trust is about showing up consistently as your best self. It's about being dependable, honest, and compassionate. It's about aligning your words with your actions and demonstrating that you are someone others can rely on. Trust isn't something you can demand or assume, it's something you earn. One action at a time, one day at a time. In a world where trust is often in short supply, those who commit to earning it stand out. They create stronger relationships, inspire connections, and build legacies of integrity and respect. Trust is currency of relationships. Earning it is one of the most valuable investments you can make. Authenticity is one of the most powerful forces in building genuine relationships and creating meaningful connections. At its core, authenticity is about being true to who you are, unapologetically showing the world your real self without pretense or masks. It is the ability to stand confidently in your identity, your values, and your beliefs, even when faced with pressure to conform. People are naturally drawn to those who are authentic because it creates a sense of trust, comfort, and relatability that cannot be manufactured. When someone is authentic, they signal to others that they are safe, honest, and dependable. And this is the foundation upon which strong connections are built. When you are authentic, you allow others to see your true self, including your strengths, weaknesses, and vulnerabilities. This openness fosters a sense of trust because people can sense when someone is being genuine. Authenticity is not about being perfect. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about embracing imperfections and being comfortable with your flaws. People don't connect with perfection because it feels unattainable and unrealistic. Instead, they connect with honesty and humanity. When you show your authentic self, you give others permission to do the same, creating a space where mutual understanding and trust can flourish. One of the reasons authenticity creates such strong connections is that it breaks down barriers. In a world where so many people feel the need to put on a facade, whether it's to meet societal expectations, impress others, or protect themselves, authenticity is refreshing. It stands out because it's rare. When you encounter someone who is authentic, you feel like you can let your guard down. You don't have to wonder about their intentions or question whether they are being honest with you. I think it's important that people, instead, you can simply engage with them as they are, free from the layers of pretense and performance that often complicate relationships. Authenticity also breeds relatability. When you share your true thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you create opportunities for others to see parts of themselves in you. They may find comfort in knowing that they are not alone in their struggles or challenges. This shared humanity creates bonds that go beyond surface-level interactions. For example, when a leader is authentic, admitting to mistakes or uncertainties, their team members are more likely to feel a sense of connection and loyalty. They see that their leader is not some untouchable figure, but a real person who faces challenges just like they do. Being authentic also allows you to attract the right people into your life. When you are true to yourself, you naturally draw in those who resonate with your values, beliefs, and personality. Conversely, when you pretend to be someone you're not, you may attract people who are aligned with the persona you're projecting, but not with who you truly are. This can lead to shallow or unsatisfying relationships that lack depth and meaning. By embracing authenticity, you ensure that the relationships you build are grounded in truth and mutual understanding. Authenticity is not just about being open, it's also about being consistent. People want to know that the person they interact with today will be the same person they interact with tomorrow. This consistency builds trust because it shows that you are reliable and dependable. When your actions align with your words and your behavior reflects your values, you demonstrate integrity, which is a cornerstone of authenticity. Consistency reassures others that they can trust you to be genuine, not just in certain situations, but in all aspects of life. Another reason authenticity creates connection is that it demonstrates confidence. When you are authentic, you show that you are comfortable in your own skin and that you don't feel the need to seek validation from others. This self-assurance is magnetic because it inspires others to embrace their own authenticity. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance or an inflated sense of self. Rather, it means knowing your worth and being unafraid to show up as your true self. People admire and respect authenticity because it takes courage to be vulnerable and honest in a world that often encourages conformity. It's important to note that authenticity doesn't mean sharing everything about yourself with everyone. It's not about oversharing or being blunt to the point of insensitivity. Authenticity requires discernment. It's about being honest and true while also respecting boundaries and the dynamics of different relationships. The goal is not to demand acceptance from others, but to live in alignment with your values and beliefs. Authenticity is as much about how you treat others as it is about how you present yourself. When you approach relationships with kindness, empathy, and honesty, you reinforce the connection that authenticity creates. Authenticity is a gift that you give to yourself and to others. It frees you from the exhausting effort of trying to be someone you're not, allowing you to live with greater ease and confidence. At the same time, it offers others the chance to connect with the real you, not a carefully curated version of yourself. When you are authentic, you create an environment of trust, openness, and understanding where relationships can thrive and flourish. Authenticity is not just about being true to yourself. It's about building connections that are rooted in truth, integrity, and mutual respect. In a world that often values appearances over substance, authenticity is a powerful and transformative force that brings people closer together and creates bonds that last. Empathy is one of the most profound and transformative forces in human relationships. It has the power to bridge divides, dissolve misunderstandings, and create a foundation of trust that cannot be easily shaken. At its core, empathy is about stepping into another person's world, understanding their experiences, emotions, and perspectives without judgment. It is the act of showing genuine care and concern, a way of saying, I see you, I hear you, and I value what you're going through. Trust and empathy are deeply intertwined, as trust grows naturally when people feel understood, respected, and supported. When empathy is present, it creates a sense of connection. It allows people to feel seen and heard in ways that go beyond words. In a world where so many interactions are superficial, empathy is what cuts through the noise and allows relationships to become meaningful. It's not just about saying the right things or offering solutions. It's about being fully present with someone, sharing in their joys and struggles. When someone feels that their emotions are understood, they begin to trust that the relationship is safe, supportive, and genuine. Empathy is powerful because it fosters vulnerability. People are more likely to open up and share their true thoughts and feelings when they sense that the person they're speaking to genuinely cares. Vulnerability is a critical component of trust. It requires courage to let others see your inner world, but it's only possible when you believe that the other person will treat that openness with kindness and respect. Empathy lays the groundwork for this by creating an environment where people feel free to be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. One of the reasons empathy builds trust is that it demonstrates a willingness to prioritize another person's needs and feelings. Trust is not built through selfishness or one-sided interactions. It grows when people see that you are willing to step outside of your own perspective and make an effort to understand theirs. This selflessness sends a powerful message: you matter to me. That message is at the heart of trust, as it reassures others that your intentions are rooted in care and respect. Empathy also fosters understanding. Any conflicts and misunderstandings arise from a lack of communication or a failure to consider another person's point of view. When you approach situations with empathy, you break down those barriers. Instead of jumping to conclusions or making assumptions, you take the time to understand why someone feels the way they do or why they made a particular decision. This willingness to listen and seek understanding not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also strengthens the bonds of trust. It shows others that you are committed to resolving issues in a way that respects their experiences and emotions. And empathy is not just about understanding someone's pain, it's also about celebrating their successes and joys. When you show genuine happiness for someone else's achievements, it strengthens your connection with them. People are more likely to trust those who can share in both their struggles and their triumphs. This kind of balanced empathy reinforces the idea that you are fully present in the relationship regardless of the circumstances. It shows that you are not just there to help when things are difficult, but also to celebrate and encourage during the good times. In professional relationships, empathy is just as vital. Leaders who practice empathy earn the trust of their teams because they show that they value their employees as individuals, not just as workers. When a leader takes the time to understand the challenges, aspirations, and emotions of their team members, it fosters a culture of trust and loyalty. Employees are more likely to go above and beyond when they feel that their contributions are appreciated and that their well-being matters. Similarly, in any workplace relationship, empathy helps build bridges between colleagues, creating an environment of collaboration and mutual respect. Empathy also has the power to repair trust when it has been broken. Trust is fragile, and once damaged, it can be difficult to rebuild. But empathy provides a path forward. When someone feels hurt or betrayed, what they often want most is for their feelings to be acknowledged and validated. An empathetic response shows that you recognize the impact of your actions and that you are committed to making amends. This kind of genuine effort to understand and address the other person's pain is essential in rebuilding trust and restoring the relationship. Practicing empathy requires effort and intentionality. It's not always easy to put yourself in someone else's shoes, especially when their perspective differs from your own. But the more you practice empathy, the more natural it becomes. It starts with active listening, paying full attention to what the other person is saying without interrupting or formulating your response in advance. It involves asking thoughtful questions to deepen your understanding and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure clarity. It also requires patience, as empathy is not about fixing someone's problems, but about being present and supportive as they navigate their own journey. Empathy is the foundation of trust because it creates a sense of safety and connection. It reassures people that they are not alone, that their emotions and experiences are valid, and that they are valued for who they are. Empathy transforms relationships by breaking down walls and building bridges. It turns acquaintances into allies, colleagues into collaborators, and strangers into friends. When you practice empathy, you not only earn trust, but also contribute to a world where people feel seen, heard, and understood, a world where relationships are built on a foundation of care, respect, and mutual support. Consistency is one of the most powerful yet often overlooked qualities that can transform relationships, careers, and personal growth. It is the steady drumbeat that builds confidence over time, creating a sense of reliability and trust that people can depend on. Whether in professional settings, personal relationships, or self-development, consistency acts as a stabilizing force, signaling commitment and dedication. When people see a pattern of dependable behavior, it removes uncertainty, making it easier to trust, respect, and believe in someone or something. Confidence is not built overnight, nor is it the result of a single grand gesture. It grows through repeated actions that align with one's values and promises. Consistency, therefore, becomes the foundation of confidence because it demonstrates accountability. When you consistently deliver on your commitments, whether big or small, it sends a clear message. You are dependable. People know they can count on you, and that certainty fosters a sense of assurance in your capabilities. Over time, this reliability builds a reputation for trustworthiness, which is essential in both personal and professional spheres. Consistency also creates predictability, which is a key component of confidence. Predictability doesn't mean being boring or rigid. Rather, it means providing stability and reducing ambiguity. For instance, in relationships, being consistent in how you treat others, showing kindness, respect, and understanding, creates a sense of safety. People feel secure when they know what to expect from you. They don't have to guess whether your behavior or mood will change dramatically, and that stability encourages deeper connections. In professional contexts, a leader who consistently communicates openly and supports their team creates an environment where employees feel confident to take risks and perform at their best, knowing that the foundation is strong. Another reason consistency builds confidence is that it reflects discipline and intentionality. It's easy to start something with enthusiasm, but it takes discipline to maintain that effort over time. Consistency shows that you are committed, not just in fleeting moments, but over the long haul. This commitment is what instills confidence in others. They see that your words and actions are not driven by impulse or convenience, but by a deeper sense of purpose. When people observe your ability to stay the course even when challenges arise, it reinforces their belief in your determination and reliability. Consistency doesn't just build confidence in others, it also strengthens your own self-belief. When you consistently take action toward your goals, you begin to see tangible progress. That progress reinforces the idea that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. Confidence grows when you trust yourself to follow through on your commitments. Each small win achieved through consistent effort serves as evidence that you are capable and resilient. This self-trust is crucial because it forms the backbone of how you show up in the world. When you believe in your own abilities, it radiates outward, inspiring others to believe in you as well. In moments of doubt or difficulty, consistency acts as an anchor. It keeps you grounded, reminding you of your values and the goals you are working toward. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but consistency ensures that you don't lose sight of your purpose. By showing up even when it's hard, you demonstrate resilience. People respect and trust those who can weather storms without losing their sense of direction. That kind of steadiness builds confidence in your ability to navigate uncertainty and emerge stronger on the other side. Consistency also plays a critical role in establishing credibility. In any relationship or endeavor, trust is built when actions match words. Saying the right things might earn you momentary attention, but consistent actions are what sustain confidence over time. For example, a business that consistently delivers high-quality products or services earns the loyalty of its customers. Similarly, a friend who consistently shows up in times of need becomes someone you can rely on without hesitation. Credibility is not about perfection, it's about showing up with integrity time and time again. One of the most significant benefits of consistency is that it reinforces positive habits. Confidence is often tied to competence, and competence comes from practice and repetition. The more consistently you engage in a skill or behavior, the better you become at it. Over time, this mastery breeds confidence because you know you've put in the work to refine your abilities. Whether it's practicing a sport, honing a professional skill, or nurturing a relationship, consistent effort leads to growth and improvement. That growth not only builds confidence, but also inspires others to trust in your expertise and dedication. Consistency also builds momentum. When you establish a rhythm of showing up and doing the work, it creates a compounding effect. Each consistent action builds on the one before it, creating a sense of progress and achievement. This momentum reinforces confidence because it shows that your efforts are making a difference. It's like pushing a flywheel. At first, it takes significant effort to get it moving, but once it gains momentum, it becomes almost unstoppable. Consistency is what keeps the flywheel turning, allowing confidence to grow steadily over time. Consistency is about showing up with integrity, reliability, and purpose. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about being dependable and staying true to your values. Confidence, whether in yourself or in others, is built on the foundation of trust, and trust requires consistency. When you commit to being consistent in your actions, words, and intentions, you create an environment where confidence can thrive. Over time, this steadiness becomes a powerful force, shaping not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Consistency may not always be glamorous, but it is undeniably transformative. It is the quiet, persistent force that builds confidence, deepens trust, and paves the way for meaningful relationships and lasting success. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness, something to be avoided or hidden. But in reality, vulnerability is one of the most profound demonstrations of strength. It takes courage to show your authentic self, to expose your fears, your struggles, and your imperfections. In a world where people often project an image of invincibility, Being vulnerable requires a level of bravery that few are willing to embrace. It is through vulnerability that true connection is formed, trust is built, and strength is revealed in its most human and relatable form. Being vulnerable means stepping into the unknown, unguarded, and open. It's admitting that you don't have all the answers, that you've made mistakes, or that you're afraid of failure. It's acknowledging that life, with all its uncertainties, can sometimes feel overwhelming. But in doing so, vulnerability creates a bridge between people. It invites others to see you as you truly are, not as you think they want you to be. So this openness fosters deeper relationships because it breaks down the walls of perfectionism and allows for genuine understanding and empathy. Vulnerability requires you to confront your fears and insecurities head on, which is no small feat. It is far easier to hide behind a facade of strength or to avoid difficult conversations altogether. But when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you are saying to the world, "This is who I am, flaws and all." That kind of honesty is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your strength. It shows that you have the courage to be real, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. It is through this authenticity that you gain the respect and trust of others, because people value those who are unafraid to show their humanity. Vulnerability also demonstrates resilience. It doesn't mean that you are without fear or pain. It means that you are willing to face those emotions and move forward despite them. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you are embracing uncertainty and the possibility of rejection or failure. But rather than avoiding these outcomes, you accept them as part of the process. This resilience, this ability to endure and grow through vulnerability, is a powerful display of inner strength. It shows that you are not defined by your fears, but are willing to face them and keep going. When you are vulnerable, you give others permission to do the same. Your willingness to share your struggles or fears creates a safe space for others to open up. It signals that they don't have to be perfect to be valued or accepted. This mutual vulnerability builds trust and fosters deeper connections. People are drawn to authenticity, and when they see you being honest about your own experiences, it encourages them to share theirs. This exchange of vulnerability strengthens relationships, whether they are personal or professional, because it is rooted in trust and mutual respect. Vulnerability also fosters growth. When you are willing to admit that you don't know something or that you need help, you open the door to learning and improvement. Too often, people equate vulnerability with incompetence, but the truth is quite the opposite. Admitting that you don't have all the answers shows a willingness to learn and grow. It demonstrates humility, which is a key component of true strength. By being vulnerable, you allow yourself to evolve, to gain new perspectives, and to become better equipped to face future challenges. In leadership, vulnerability is an invaluable quality. Leaders who admit their mistakes, share their struggles, or ask for help are often more respected and trusted by their teams. Their vulnerability makes them relatable and approachable, creating an environment where others feel safe to take risks, share ideas, and express concerns. This kind of open communication leads to stronger teams and better outcomes. What do we need to think, Michelle? Vulnerable leaders inspire confidence not because they are perfect, but because they are real. They show that strength is not about never faltering, but about rising every time you do. Vulnerability also deepens self-awareness. When you take the time to explore and share your vulnerabilities, you gain a better understanding of your emotions, fears, and desires. This self-awareness allows you to navigate life with greater intention and purpose. It helps you recognize what truly matters and gives you the clarity to prioritize your energy and focus. By embracing vulnerability, you not only strengthen your relationships with others, but also your relationship with yourself. It is an act of self-compassion that reminds you that it's okay to be imperfect and that your worth is not tied to being invulnerable. In moments of vulnerability, people often discover an inner strength they didn't know they had. It's in the act of exposing your true self, of standing in your authenticity despite the fear of judgment, that you realize your resilience. Vulnerability teaches you that strength isn't about being unshaken or immune to pain. It's about facing life's challenges with an open heart. It's about showing up even when it's hard and embracing the messiness of being human. Vulnerability is a powerful testament to courage and strength. It challenges the notion that strength is about putting up walls or hiding imperfections. Instead, it redefines strength as the willingness to be seen, to take risks, and to embrace authenticity. By being vulnerable, you show that you are confident enough to stand in your truth, no matter how imperfect or uncertain it may be. You prove that strength lies not in avoiding vulnerability, but in choosing to embrace it as a pathway to deeper connection, greater growth, and a richer, more authentic life. Trust is a two-way street. It cannot exist in isolation, nor can it be one-sided. For trust to thrive, it must be mutual, rooted in reciprocity and shared understanding. One person cannot do all the work. Both parties must actively engage in building and sustaining trust. This principle applies to relationships of all kinds, whether personal, professional, or communal. Trust flourishes when there is a mutual investment in honesty, reliability, and respect. Without that shared commitment, trust becomes fragile and easily broken. At its core, mutual trust is about balance. It is the result of two individuals or groups consistently choosing to honor their commitments, communicate openly, and act with integrity. When one person trusts another, they extend a vulnerability, an unspoken expectation that the other will honor that trust and respond in kind. If that trust is met with dishonesty, neglect, or inconsistency, the balance is disrupted and the relationship suffers. Conversely, when trust is reciprocated, it creates a positive feedback loop, strengthening the bond and reinforcing the foundation of the relationship. Mutual trust requires effort and intentionality from both sides. It is not something that can be taken for granted or assumed. It must be cultivated through actions that demonstrate reliability and care. Simple gestures like keeping promises, being transparent about intentions, and following through on commitments go a long way in building trust. These actions signal to others that their trust is valued and that their vulnerability will not be taken lightly. In turn, these gestures encourage others to reciprocate, creating a dynamic where trust becomes the norm rather than the exception. Effective communication is a cornerstone of mutual trust. Without open and honest dialogue, misunderstandings and assumptions can erode even the strongest bonds. Trust grows when people feel heard and understood, when their concerns are acknowledged, and when they are met with empathy rather than judgment. This level of communication requires active listening and a willingness to put oneself in the other's shoes. It also requires humility, the ability to admit when you're wrong, apologize when necessary, and make amends. These actions not only repair breaches of trust, but also reinforce the mutual respect that trust is built upon. One of the most powerful aspects of mutual trust is the sense of safety it creates. When both parties trust each other, they feel secure in being themselves. They can express their thoughts and feelings without fear of ridicule or rejection. This sense of safety fosters authenticity and strengthens the relationship. People are more likely to take risks, share their ideas, and collaborate effectively when they know that trust is mutual. In this way, trust becomes the foundation for innovation, growth, and deeper connection. Mutual trust also requires consistency over time. It is not enough to demonstrate trustworthiness in isolated moments. There must be a pattern of reliable behavior. Consistency builds confidence and reassures the other party that trust is not conditional or temporary. It shows that you are dependable even in challenging circumstances. This reliability fosters a sense of predictability, which is essential for trust to flourish. When both parties consistently show up for each other, the relationship is strengthened and trust becomes unshakable. However, mutual trust does not mean blind trust. It is important to recognize that trust must be earned and maintained. While it is essential to give others the benefit of the doubt, it is equally important to set boundaries and hold people accountable when necessary. Trusting someone does not mean ignoring red flags or allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. True mutual trust is built on a foundation of respect, where both parties honor each other's boundaries and uphold shared values. In mutual trust, there's a recognition of shared responsibility. Both parties understand that their actions have an impact on the relationship and that trust is a shared asset to be nurtured. This awareness fosters accountability as each person strives to uphold their end of the trust equation. When mistakes are made, mutual trust allows for grace and forgiveness, as long as there is a genuine effort to make things right. It is this shared commitment to repairing and strengthening the relationship that sets mutual trust apart from superficial or one-sided interactions. Mutual trust is also a powerful force in teams and communities. When trust is present, collaboration becomes seamless and people feel empowered to contribute their best. In a team setting, mutual trust fosters a culture of support and respect where everyone feels valued and included. This environment not only enhances productivity, but it also boosts morale and creates a sense of belonging. Enjoy this report. And leadership embodies power is between you and me. When people trust each other, they are more likely to share resources, offer help, and celebrate each other's successes, creating a ripple effect that benefits the entire group. Mutual trust is a reflection of shared values and a commitment to building something greater than oneself. It is an acknowledgement that no relationship can thrive without the active participation of both parties. Trust is not about control or dominance. It is about partnership, collaboration, and shared purpose. When trust is mutual, it becomes a force that binds people together, transcending challenges and deepening connections. It was in a world that often emphasizes individualism, mutual trust reminds us of the power of connection. It shows us that we are stronger together than we are alone, and that trust, when reciprocated, has the potential to transform relationships and create lasting impact. It is through mutual trust that we find the courage to be vulnerable, the strength to forgive, and the inspiration to grow. The exploration that comes from learning is the idea he will seem to untrust in its truest form is a gift we give and receive, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us. Trust is the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship, whether personal, professional, or communal. It is earned through authenticity, nurtured through empathy, strengthened by consistency, demonstrated in vulnerability, and sustained through mutual respect. Trust requires intentionality, patience, and a commitment to shared values. It is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing effort, a dynamic exchange that fosters safety, connection, and growth. When we prioritize trust, we create environments where people feel valued, heard, and supported. We unlock the potential for deeper connections, greater collaboration, and lasting success. Trust is not just about what we say, but what we consistently do. It's about showing up with integrity and honoring the vulnerability of others. Let us embrace trust as both a gift and a responsibility, choosing to build it every day. Together, we can create relationships that inspire and transform. Thank you for listening and for trusting this message.